The dust tasted like regret. Jeb Stone spat, wiping his mouth with the back of a calloused hand. The late afternoon sun bled across the corrugated iron roofs of Copper Canyon, painting the town in hues of orange and despair. He's been tracking the Carson band for 3 weeks, and the trail had led him here through this desolate corner of the Arizona Territory. Jed wasn't a fancy lawman, no fancy badge, no fancy horse. Just a weathered face, a worn Winchester, and a grim determination to see justice done. He's seen too much of the wrong kind of justice out here, the kind that left men hanging from trees without a trial, the kind that let cattle rustlers walk free while honest ranchers lost everything. He's been hired by the widow Elara Hemlock. Her husband, Thomas, was a respected blacksmith and a quiet man. The Carsons robbed him, beat him, and left him for dead. Jeb knew the Carsons wouldn't be satisfied with just a few dollars. They were looking to establish dominance, to carve out their own little kingdom of fear. He found Elara in the blacksmith shop, surrounded by the ghostly shapes of half-finished tools and the acrid smell of burnt charcoal. She was a woman aged with grief, her eyes hollowed by loss, but with a surprising strength in her grip. She offered him a meager payment, but Jeb declined. "Justice isn't bought and sold, ma'am," he told her, his voice rough as gravel. "It's earned." The saloon, the Rattlesnake's Kiss, was the Carsons' lone haven. The music was tinny, the laughter forced, the air thick with cheap whiskey and desperation. Jeb pushed through the swing doors, his hand instinctively hovering near his Winchester. The room went silent. All eyes turned to him. A hulking figure emerged from the shadows. Silas Carson, the gang leader, a man whose reputation for brutality preceded him like a swarm of locusts. "Well, well," he trolled, his voice a venomous whisper. "Look what the cat dragged in. A tin-horn lawman." "Silas Carson," Jeb replied, his voice calm despite the simmering tension. "I'm here to bring you in." Silas laughed, a sound that grated on Jeb's nerves. "You and what army? My boys are itching for a fight." He gestured to a collection of rough-looking men, armed and eager to prove their loyalty. Jeb knew he was outnumbered, but he wasn't about to back down. He's seen too many innocent people suffer at the hands of men like Silas. "I'm not here for a fight," he said, his eyes scanning the room. "I'm here for justice." A scuffle broke out. A young Carson, eager to prove himself, lunged at Jeb. Jeb sidestepped the attack, his hand swift and sure, disarming the young man with a practiced ease. The room erupted in chaos. Gunshots echoed off the walls. The air filled with the smell of gunpowder and the screams of terrified patrons. Jeb moved with a lethal grace, dodging bullets, disarming opponents. He wasn't a gunslinger, but he knew how to survive. He knew how to use his environment to his advantage. He used the tables, the chairs, the bar as cover. He kept moving, kept fighting, his eyes locked on Silas. One by one, the Carsons fell. Not all were killed, but enough was subdued to make a decisive stand impossible. The sounds of a dozen men fighting filled the saloon. Jeb saw Silas' men corner Elara near the back. "Leave her be," Jeb yelled, abandoning his pursuit of Silas to intervene. He spun around, fired a warning shot toward the menacing Carson, who froze. "She stays out of this." Elara, watching the chaos unfold, saw the raw determination in Jed's eyes. He wasn't a hero, he was a man fighting for something he believed in. A flicker of hope ignited within her. Silas, seeing his men falling and his plans unraveling, realized he was losing. He made a desperate move, grabbing a hostage, a young woman named Lily, a barmaid known for her kindness. "Drop your weapon, lawman," Silas snarled, pressing the barrel of his revolver against Lily's temple, "or she gets it." Jeb froze. He knew he couldn't risk Lily's life. He slowly lowered his Winchester. "You win this round, Carson," he said, his voice laced with frustration. "But it's not over." Silas laughed, releasing Lily and disappearing into the dusty street, his remaining men scattering behind him. The townsfolk emerged cautiously, surveying the scene of destruction. Jeb watched them go, his heart heavy with disappointment. He failed to bring the Carsons to justice. He's let them escape, but he knew he wouldn't give up. He's seen too much pain, too much suffering. He had to keep fighting, keep striving for a better world. Elara approached him, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you," she said, her voice trembling. "You saved me." "It wasn't enough," Jeb replied, his gaze fixed on the receding figures of the Carsons. "They're still out there, and they are still a threat." He turned to Sheriff Brody, a weary man with a haunted look in his eyes. "For a man on Carson's trail," Jeb said, his voice firm. "I'm going after them." Brody nodded, acknowledging the urgency in Jeb's voice. "Be careful, Stone. They're dangerous." Jeb didn't reply. He mounted his horse. The setting sun cast in a long shadow behind him. He rode out of Copper Canyon, a solitary figure against the vast expanse of the Arizona Territory. He knew the road ahead would be long and arduous. He knew he's facing a formidable enemy, but he wouldn't be deterred. He's a man of principle. He's a man of justice. And he wouldn't rest until the Carsons were brought to justice. As he rode, he noticed something glinting in the dust. A small, silver locket dropped in the scuffle. He picked it up. Inside, a miniature portrait of a young woman, not Lily, not Elara, but someone else. A woman with sad, knowing eyes. A woman who seemed to be waiting for someone who wasn't coming. He wondered who she was, what her story was. He pocketed the locket. A new mystery to ponder in a land full of them. The setting sun bled across the landscape, promising a dark and uncertain future.